All right, so today we're gonna taste some glutinous sugar cookies, the best recipes we've found, and then try to recreate them gluten-free.
To me, the quintessential sugar cookie is crisp on the outside and then but pretty tender on the inside. You know, sugar cookies are one of those cookies that goes all over the place. People send them to each other, they take them to parties, they tend to hang out for a while, and so they need to have some longevity to them.
Yep.
Can I be eating these cookies?
Yeah, you can be eating the cookies. Okay, while Angela's eating, I'm gonna break down these cookies for you. One of them is from Bon Appetit, and one is from the New York Times. They both have the same things in them. They have flour, butter, sugar, eggs, vanilla, and baking powder, but in different ratios.
Okay, well,
And salt.
Cookie B is considerably softer than cookie A, breakability wise.
And one has more salt, and those are the only differences.
This one has more
One
salt.
has a little bit more vanilla, and one has a little bit more salt.
I mean, I like a salty cookie. It's cookie B for me.
Yeah? It's cookie B for me, too.
Yeah, especially when you're like pairing it with frosting, which is so sweet. And it just feels like this is more packable. Would like not break because it's sturdier.
Okay, so the next step is that we're going to try to recreate this beautiful Bon Appetit cookie using a gluten-free flour, and we've chosen to work with Bob's Red Mill, which we both love because
Yeah, it's our favorite. I think the blend of gluten-free flours within Bob's Red Mill is just really classic. The flavor is very neutral. It eats most like all-purpose flour. I've had the most success with it in cakes and cookies.
yeah, I use it a lot for baking, and also it's our go-to for pancakes.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes really light, fluffy pancakes. Our plan is that we're going to go 1-to-1 with the Bon Appetit recipe, and then we're going to do a second recipe that we think might work better based on what we know about the gluten-free flour. And we're just going to try them next to each other and see what happens.
What does 1-to-1 mean?
1-to-1
means you can use the gluten-free flour in a 1-to-1 ratio as you would all-purpose in a regular glutinous recipe.
Yep.
All right, so let's take a look.
Yeah, first we're going to have a look. It's me trying to break into your phone.
How dare you? Okay, so everything in this ingredient list, we're gonna do exactly 1-to-1, except for the flour. We have to follow 375 grams instead of cups because I'm sure the volume measurement is different and the weight matters more than the volume.
All right, cool.
Okay, so the one edit I wanna make is Bon Appetit whisked their salt, baking powder, and flour together. I like to put salt in the butter, creaming it with the salt and sugar because I think it gets distributed better.
All right, I love that. Hot tip from Elsa.
Hot tip. Do you think we're going to be able to do it? Make a good cookie?
Gluten-free cookie?
You skeptical?
I know you, so yeah.
Joe, do you ever eat anything that's gluten-free? Intentionally?
Steak.
Yeah, steak and apples.
Yeah.
Apples.
So, Elsa, for the original Bon Appetit recipe, they called for 2 hours in the refrigerator before you roll it out. I only did 1 because I had things to do, and it turned out perfectly. So, what do you think we'll do with this gluten-free dough? Do you think we should go for the full 2, go a little longer?
Either the full 2 or longer. I didn't make the original recipe, but this dough feels pretty soft for cookie dough. Also, doughs are usually just softer when you are using gluten-free flours.
Yeah.
They need to be to get the right texture when baked. And so I say at 2 hours, if this is not firm enough, we let it go. We're kind of beholden to the fridge to get it to the right temp.
Okay. 2 questions.
Yeah.
Question 1. For the New York Times recipe, they only called for an hour, and their dough is quite sticky.
Yeah, it was still sticky when you rolled it out?
Yeah.
Did they give instructions to like roll it in between parchment paper or anything?
Nope.
Just deal with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it did roll out. I mean, I could do it. It was fine. It was workable. Second question is, would we ever put it in the freezer to speed this process up?
You could, yeah. I would like always watch it. I mean, you could freeze the dough and then thaw it and use it later. Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't hurt it. It would be fine. But if you're just going for efficiency, put it in the freezer maybe 20 minutes.
20 minutes,
And then, yeah, it could be ready to go, or it might need some more time in the fridge, but definitely less than 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Should we do that?
Sure.
Yeah. Really nice.
Really nice. I know. I did
Yeah.
not think it would feel this good. It's a little sticky.
It would be madness if this was
brushing
actually a one and done.
I know.
All right, so we gotta put these in the freezer for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so the original recipe says to bake at 325 for 12 to 15 minutes.
Yep.
Gluten-free products just take longer.
Okay.
There's more moisture usually, so they take longer to bake. I've also found like you need to pull them right at the right time. Like sometimes even in a baked good, if you stick a toothpick in to like bread, it'll come out clean and then it still isn't done.
Oh.
So we're gonna go a little longer on these.
Wait, music. All right, how do they look?
They look great.
They look like maybe there's a little bit more spreading than with the all-purpose, and they're a little dimpled in the middle.
Yeah, they're softer. They're falling apart a little bit more, which is interesting. We will see how they taste.
Alrighty.
I was hoping you would do like
I
a
feel so Vanna Whitey when I'm just like walking around behind you.
I think we just have to taste them. I think like we don't know yet until we try.
Okay.
2 more?
Yeah, I
Two
just
more.
am not seeing the color.
2 more.
2 more.
I think we should go 1
Hmm.
14 minutes or 11? 12. Okay.
Plus one, plus one, plus one, plus one.
So they're a little flakier. You can tell they're not like cohesive. Like the cookies that you made were perfectly smooth. They looked like one solid piece. This one kind of does.
Yeah.
But these, you can just tell they're looser. They're a little soft still. We'll let them firm up.
Not very golden brown.
Not at all. Okay, and we use the same cookie cutter. So they really
Yeah, they
spread.
really spread. And they're not as smooth.
Cross-contaminated. No, I think we need to reduce the butter. Bon appetit glutinous and gluten-free, take 1. So I think a higher bake temp is gonna make the cookies browner and crispier. And before we go make another dough, which I still wanna do, I just wanna see how this original dough bakes at 375 instead of 325. Much better.
All right, Elsa and I have been chatting behind the scenes, and we've decided that we're going to do a few different things. So,
Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't want to increase the flour. I'm just going to reduce the butter and eggs in a few different ways, and then we'll bake all 3 versions and see which one we like best.
All right.
So this is the original version. 2.5 sticks of butter. We had 1 egg and 1 egg yolk. I'm just taking out the yolk. Version 2, we're going to take out the yolk and some butter. And then version 3, just take out some butter.
Okay, and across the board, we're increasing salt.
We're increasing salt, and we're going to try food processing the Bob's Red Mill.
Okay, but otherwise, we're keeping the same amount of flour.
Keeping the same amount of flour, yeah. We want the cookies to be crispier, so that means you either have to increase the dry ingredients or decrease the liquid ones. Sugar counts as liquid. It'll help the cookie make the cookie spread more, but we like the level of sugar, and I think we can handle a little less fat to get that crispiness. So we're
Okay.
going to try different versions and see which one we like, and then we might adjust bake time too. But
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I'm doing too much of this.
I'm just in here by myself. Where's Elsa? We don't know. Yeah, let's have Angela come in.
The mic just increased in size.
I was going to do this with you.
Thank you. And we'll do this the whole time. This thing is huge. I'm here on a talk show.
All right, Angela, we have 4 cookies for you to try.
Tender. I feel like it's missing something.
Is it flour?
Gluten, maybe? Tastes like a little, I don't know. Okay, next. Much crispier, but better flavor.
Yeah.
Like you almost can't tell that there's gluten-free flour, and it just tastes like a nice, like airy, crispy cookie.
Hey.
Okay. I feel like I like C more than B, but I could not tell you why.
I think it's denser, so it's crispy on the outside. It's a tiny bit more tender on the inside.
You think it's
Yeah.
more tender on the inside?
And the flavor
And
is
less
really
like
nice.
versus crumbly? Yeah.
It's like almost chewy, but it definitely is not chewy.
Okay.
Last one.
It's a fluffernutter.
It's like a little muffin top.
Yeah.
You're a little muffin top.
Thank you.
Whoa,
I knew it.
you called that.
You didn't like it? Why?
It is like a muffin top. It's just not.
Yeah, it tastes too cakey.
I was trying to get rid of the crumbliness, and I was doing different things to get rid of it. This obviously wasn't the right move,
I still
but
like
it was
it,
worth
but it's
testing.
just not a Christmas cookie.
Yep.
I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not a bad cookie. It's actually quite tasty. And I will say it is the least, maybe the least powdery of all of them.
Oh, I think it's kind of powdery.
Really?
I think the crunchiness from these two helps cover up the powdery. Also, did you notice, just curious, this one has like this crumbly not an aftertaste, but like an after feel. I got it less in these two.
Yes, definitely.
Food processor.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Wow, that's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Okay, so C is my favorite.
Me
C
too.
is my favorite too.
What was the difference?
This one took out an egg yolk. This
Don't do
one,
that.
I took out some butter. That one, I added some egg white.
But you processed.
The flour for all
flour.
3,
Okay.
but not in this one.
Well, that's so interesting.
And this one, the only difference is just a little bit less butter.
So, what was the science behind why this one worked? Taking out the butter.
The cookies spread less, and it reduced the moisture content in the whole cookie, and so it's crispier.
Yeah. Wow.
That's basically it.
You really nailed it.
Okay, what do you actually think?
No, I truly think that C was the best, and you like can't even talk.
I think I just need to figure out how to get it to spread a little bit less, so I want to try baking the same dough at a higher temp.
I'm very excited about the cookies. They're looking really good. And the main thing that I'm seeing is that they're very straight up and down, which is what Elsa and I wanted to see. We wanted nice straight edges because they've been a little bit spready. We did actually forget to move the cookies apart from one another, and 2 of them are touching. It's kind of cute. Here we are. It's 4 o'clock. We've been at it since 8:30 or 9 this morning. And we thought we had nailed it with cookie C. We were really excited about it when it was a circle, but when we tried to bake it in other shapes, it was just too puffy and it didn't hold its form. So what I'm really excited about what we're seeing here is that we have these nice crisp lines. You can really see all the corners of the cookies.
I think they're just cool enough.
Yeah, yeah. Look how good. To get that, Elsa made a couple adjustments from Cookie C. Tell us what you did.
I tried changing the baking temp again, but that ended up not working, so I just added a little bit more xanthan gum. And that little bit of structure helped them hold their shape. And I could have added more flour to get them even crisper, but just the like ratio with the butter and sugar is perfect flavor-wise, and I didn't want to compromise that. So I think this is the final cookie.
Yeah, and it's so great looking. I'm really excited. So now comes the fun part. We get to decorate.
In a food processor, pulse 2.5 cups Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1 gluten-free flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon xanthan gum until fine. Cream 2 sticks softened unsalted butter with 1 cup sugar and 1 teaspoon salt until light and fluffy. Add 1 egg, 1 yolk, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, and 1 teaspoon almond extract, mix until combined. Add the dry ingredients and beat until well combined. Chill the dough in the fridge for 2 hours. Roll to 1/4 inch thick, cut out the cookies, and freeze for 15 minutes. Bake at 375 for 12 to 15 minutes or until the bottom edges are just golden brown.